1991, we create LeeX, the experimental economics lab. At that time, there were very few labs in Europe, perhaps one or two. And what was the purpose? The purpose was to understand, to help understand the economics reality, which is very complex. So we need to place the lab where you have simplified realities, realities that you can control in such a way that if you change one parameter, you can observe the effect of this change, because the rest is not change. Let me give you an example. Let's suppose that you want to know how the rules of the market affect the results of the market. So you build two markets, one with some rules, for instance, fixed price. Sellers fix a price, and this price is non-negotiable. Another market can be like a stock exchange market, in which sellers and buyers place bids and asks. You compare the results of the two markets, and you know that what you observe is the result of the change of rules. That's a way of better understanding how markets work, and also, eventually, it helps you to design better markets.
I'm an experimental economist producing data in the lab, in the field, and with the brain. To give an example, we invite people here to the lab to play head or tails. We watch their behavior and compare it to the theory. We can do the same in the field, for example, watching Messi shooting penalty kicks, seeing how many times he goes to the left or to the right. With fMRI machines, we can produce a brain activity of our subjects. So here we can see whether there are differences when subjects are playing against machines or playing against humans.
Recently, I've been involved in 3 types of problems in our lab. The first type is what we call contest entry decisions. Another deals with remuneration and incentive schemes, and the third deals with probabilistic reasoning. What we find is in the experiments on probabilistic reasoning, participants are usually very bad at reasoning through probability problems. However, with methods we've invented in the lab, we can actually use simulations, and with simulations, people can make very, very, very good judgments. This is important because in the other experiments we've ran on contest entry decisions as well as on incentives, we find that the inability to make good probabilistic judgments affects very much people's ability to make money in life. So this is an important area on which we're now investigating further.
In my research, I try to explain how and why individuals might develop and maintain inaccurate beliefs because they rely on biased samples of information. The information that decision makers rely on might be biased because more information is available about the alternatives that they like, and thus sample or select again. And less information might be available about alternatives that they do not like and therefore avoid. I use mathematical models to demonstrate this tendency and its behavioral consequences. These include the formation of illusory correlation, the formation of stereotypes, or the emergence of social influence. I use experiments in the LeeX to verify the assumptions of the models as well as the predictions.
I am a consumer researcher, and I study how consumers change their decisions based on how much information marketers give them about the choice set. For example, it is well known the case of the Pepsi challenge, in which Pepsi would give consumers tastings of both Pepsi and Coke, and consumers would choose Pepsi. But when they would give consumers the same tastings, but with the brand names, Pepsi and Coke, everybody would choose Coke. I study similar phenomenon, but related to the position of products on display shelves and the use of superstition in promotions.